Hello, 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 hello. It's Thick Thigh Thursday. Thank you for being here. Um, I wanted to talk today about some messages that I have received. I'm keeping in the theme of Sexual Health Awareness Month because I feel like it's a really great topic for us. Especially because I feel like women, plus size women, we don't get to talk about our sexual health enough. So, and like in our autonomy here, and our strengths and our desires and all that stuff. So, we're here to chat about it. And one thing that I get all the time is like, girl, I could only do those things in the bedroom, or girl, I only when he pushed my legs, that all these things. So, again, this is another one of those moments where if you got the kids around, you might want to pop those earbuds in. Um, just, not necessarily a family friendly topic today. And then at the same time, like, if your kids are old enough, have the conversations because it's important, right? But they're like 8, get them on out. Anyway, hi everybody. So I I meant it, right? So like I receive messages all the time. Feel free and also please drop your comments, drop your questions, right? I receive messages all the time about like the only time I could do that is in bed, or during the thing, right? Like, and I get all these like covert messages and stuff like that. And like, so there's two things that I want to talk about with this. One, so there is absolutely a part of that of like, I've got the support of someone else. I have got the assistance of someone else. Somebody else is using their hands to press me down or spread and my legs open wider, hips open wider, whatever it is, right? Like that support, right? Just it's not the same thing necessarily, but like conceptually, it's the same idea as like if you look at me being a mess. It's the same thing as if you went to a yoga class, you came to my class, and I gave you an assist. I pressed you down here. I moved you here. I pressed on your shoulders. I opened your back. I pressed on your lower back in child's pose. And like, so your hips got lower a little more. Like, those are the same things, these supports. It's the same idea conceptually as like, I can only do that during sex. Because it's not true, but maybe it is, right? Like, so it's not true. If you can get your body to reach a certain point, then your body can reach that point. But if you've ever gone to hot yoga, so I speak about hot yoga. I do not like it. I can't stand it. I think if you like really love hot yoga, you've got demons. You need to exercise, and like maybe that's you, or you really love to sweat, right? Like, and again, that's not me. I don't love to sweat. I do understand that sweat happens at the appropriate times. Absolutely. Like that's totally a normal thing. I sweat in my class that is not hot. But I hate hot yoga. Anyway, you know where the first place I was able to tuck my foot all the way into my thigh for tree was? In a hot yoga class. So, does it create the situation where you can do things that like your body can't do? Yeah, that absolutely happens. That's exactly how it goes, right? Like it creates space. um it allows for you to be in a different space, a different, like allows your leg to open, your hips, your legs, your joints, whatever it is, your muscles to relax more, right? All of those things are factors. So if you're a person that you do have a hard time in a yoga class, maybe you do want to try a hot class, right? Now, the only thing that I really want you to be mindful of there is like, okay, the things that I can do in hot yoga, that doesn't mean that I can necessarily do that when I'm just at home on my mat. And wait, hold on. Let me take another step back. The biggest thing here is the warm up. What hot yoga offers you is warmth from jump, right? That's it. You start off with the hot. Like that's how it goes. So some people like hot yoga specifically for that reason. They know they can get through it. They know they can get to the different spaces in their body. They know they can, and like all of that is fantastic. Like I would never take that away from you as a yoga teacher. Like I'm not going to take it away from you. Enjoy that. Congratulations. But understand that you still will be limited and can be limited when you leave that hot yoga studio, right? Um, when you go back to regular mat, you come to your mat in your house, you are following a YouTube class, right? And you're like, I can't do it, but I could do it then. Yeah, because you were in that hot space, right? The warmth was created for you already. Let's transition that same idea into what happens in your body with sex. So, when you're having sex with someone, ideally, right? So let's also put a bubble around this. If it's like this is not the situation you want to be in, then we're having a different conversation. However, when it's good and it's hot and it's heavy, right? It's hot. We've created the heat. That's how this comes together, right? We've created the heat, we've created the space, we've allowed, so like my muscles are more relaxed because I've had a glass of wine or whatever you choose to partake in. My mind is more relaxed because I'm really into this person that I'm with, or people. Yep, that's your business. Um, and I'm here and I'm in this space and I feel open to do these things. And I've got like we've moved here, we moved there, we rolled around a little bit, whatever it was, like that foreplay action, absolutely a warm up. Unless you feel like, I get it if you don't feel that way and you don't see it that way, like that's fine. But honestly, for your body, yeah, you're getting into it. That's what it is. That's how it works. Um, and so when you come from that space or when you get to that space, then it is automatically easier for your legs to open this way, your hips to open, your mind to be more open. All of these things so that you are capable of getting into different positions. It also, again, like I mentioned, like if you come to a class and you get this hands-on assist, you get these hands-on assists, you get pressed down and opened up and this way and that way, you get more opportunity to take up space, right? And that's exactly what's happening in a sexual situation where it's like somebody holds your leg up here, right? They're holding it for you. You're not holding it. If your muscle is open to the space, find it, right? Um, that's one of the things, right? Like, so if your arms are up here, so your shoulders this, so your back is twisted this way, whatever it is, those are things that you can now say, yes, I am capable of with an assist. And I want you to take that as a cue to say, well, okay, that means my body, it is possible for my body. However, with the appropriate warm up and with the appropriate supports. That's just how that works. I feel like a lot of women that I work with, they have said this so many times, right? And they're like, oh, well, I just can't do this by myself. Or like, I don't know. I never do this. I can't. And like the struggle and this and the other. And I've had people come to my classes, right? People come to me for splits all the time. The last time I taught a splits class, one of my clients who's been coming to me for months, she said, it's so much easier to get into when you do all the warm up. Yep. All the time. Promise. Every single time. It's a lot easier if you do the warm up. And that's just true. This is just a fact. Does that make it absolutely easy? Nope, that's not what I said. Does that mean that eventually you'll just be able to wake up out of bed and do it? Nope, that is not what I said. But if you are doing the appropriate warm-ups to get to the pose that you're looking to get into, then you will be able to take up that space. You'll be able to make those positions and those poses happen. That's absolutely how this works. And it's the same thing, that same idea that you apply to sex naturally, right? It just happens when it's sex because of the interaction, because of the nature, because it's so natural in our bodies. Yoga is also natural in our bodies, right? So many yoga poses are poses and moves that you see animals do, and they're named after, and this is why they're named after the animals and things like that, right? Like, it's part of the reason. And because they naturally happen, these are natural shapes, natural stretches, natural movements that we make. If you watch children, if you watch like I said, small animals or even bigger animals, honestly, but like if you watch them and you see the motions and movements that they make, they are yoga poses like 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10. So the natural shapes that our body wants to take, the natural stretches and things that we want to do, that is it. That is yoga. That's where it comes from. Like, that's where we have found these shapes and found those spaces. And again, so is sex. We need sex to reproduce, keep the world happily functioning. Have we overpopulated? Absolutely. Is it far too easy to have sex to create babies some of the time? Yeah, absolutely. Um And you have the opportunity to apply the same thought process and the same openness, the same availability, the same options, that direction that your body is going. You have the chance to apply that and get so much better, right? And get so much more open. And this is a mental and physical practice. Um and I will say this. I want to also add this in. I felt like this should be a different topic, but I feel like I don't know how much I have to add into it to say that it should be a whole live. But maybe I need to get somebody sciencey on so that they can answer your questions better. But if your hormones are balanced, if your body feels in balance, you will be capable of so much more, right? And I want you to think about the idea of like go back to when you first started having sex and interacting with people, whoever it is, right? They have, like, you had that first time, you had that first couple times, you had whatever the level of interaction was, and you were like, okay, well, the first time might have been weird, the second time, third time, fourth time, thank you for all the likes, I'm seeing them coming and thinking, right? It gets better, it gets easier, it gets more natural, you get more ready. That's what happens. Your body learns, your mind learns where to be, your body learns what to do, the things that, and like, especially if like, this is a long-term partner. Like, think about with the person that, if you're in a relationship or a long relationship that you had, it started off, like, hopefully it started off fantastic, right? Like, more power to you. But from there, did you learn more about each other? Probably. Did you learn what this person likes? Did they learn what you like? Probably. And let me tell you, right now, if you're in a situation where that is not true, nobody learned anything new, you need to get out now. Just get dressed, leave. But if you are if you know what I'm talking about, please, like, let me know. And again, always drop your comments, drop your questions. I want you to understand that, like, your body is capable of so much. You just need the right motivation. And that's kind of the point of what I'm saying here today, right? If you have the right motivation, you will work for it, right? And even if you don't want to do it, like, I also want you to think about that. Think of all the things that you don't want to do that you damn sure got done, right? Because you had the right motivation, right? Like, hey, so I hate this, but it pays all my bills. So I wake up on time ish, depending on who you are. I make lunches and breakfast and whatever. I get prepared. I do that. I wear the right clothes. I shop for the things that I need. All that preparation that you did for this thing that you really don't like to do, but it gets the job done. Same thing can apply to the good things, right? I want this. I like to do this. I want to feel better having sex. I want to feel better in my body. I want to feel better doing these things. Whatever that is, you can prep for it. You can get in the right place, and then it's going to get easier. It's going to get better. You're going to get stronger at it. You are going to feel your levels of capability. You're going to be able to do it more naturally, right? And those are all things that really happen. Think about and this is just honestly growth mindset as far as an overall thing. So if you're like, this sounds familiar, yeah, that's what it is. This is growth mindset. And I feel like we just don't apply it to our bodies, and we think as if, like, this is only appropriate when. If it works, it works. If you get better at yoga, you will be better in bed. If you think the things that you do in bed look like yoga, there we are. Like I said, people comment on my stuff all the time, and they're like, oh, I can only do this in bed. I can only do this during sex. You can't only do it during sex. That's not true. You do only do it during sex. That does not mean you can only do it during sex. I'm going to stop and look at some comments. Yes, ma'am. This is my sign to get into yoga. I've seen you on TikTok and Instagram today. Hey, well, welcome. I'm here all the time, and I go live every Thursday. So in case you were like, I don't know. Yep, I'm here every Thursday, I try to be on at 6, and if not, it'll be in my Instagram story when I'll be going on. Hey. I'm looking. I want to say I didn't miss any comments. Hey, how are you? Thanks for being here. Um, hey. So, right. So, like, you just have to put in the work. Exactly. You have to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be able to put in the work. But again, if you were able to do it at this point, I promise you, you can also do it at another point. But do you have the motivation? Now, I want to say this, if you are willing to say, yeah, so that wide leg, like my last post, my wide leg boat, right? Legs open, strong core open, legs, hips open, shoulders open, all that stuff, right? So you might only know this position on your back. Fine. Absolutely fine. But if you can do it there, you can do it seated. If you can do it there with somebody pushing your legs back, you can do it with you holding your own self. Now, if you are willing to stop and say, nah, I don't want to do that any other time. I just want to do it in this situation. Seisha will not force you to do it. That's not a thing. But if you feel like, yes, you have the capability, you want to be able to have your own control of your own flexibility and your strength and using your body in a strong and useful way. Yeah, it is time. Get into it. Try to do the practice on your own. You will only feel like you're worthy of having it once you work for it. Right? Like, and that's hard. Like, it's always hard to sell somebody that idea. But I saw a post today, and I'll definitely put it in my stories. One of my good friends, her story, and it was like the short term decisions. Your short term thinking leads to long term heartbreak. Your long term thinking leads to short term heartbreak. If you are like, oh my God, it's so hard, and it's this and it's that, and you give up that short-term thinking, long-term, you are not going to be able to put on your shoes in a couple months, years, whatever it is. And like, so you want to do this wild stuff during sex, but you can't put on your shoes? How is that okay? Come to class, right? But if you say like, okay, this is hard and it's going to be this hard for a little bit, no matter what, I'm new. And then you work through it and then you allow it to happen, you will get better if you are consistent. You will get better, you will get stronger, your flexibility will increase, your stamina will increase. And let me tell you, and this is ladies specifically, or well, no, excuse me, let me pull it back. This is for statement for the men. Ladies or gentlemen, whoever it is, feel free to refer to this moment for the men. In my experience, the conversations that I've had with women and stuff, a big complaint for sexual encounters is stamina. Like, it would have been great if it didn't last 38 seconds. Things like that, right? And like, maybe that's your life. And more power to you. If 38 seconds did the job, congrats to both of you. But if it didn't, the idea, again, of stamina, of getting used to the work, of having the strength, right? If you feel weak, let me tell you, your body is going to be like, here it is, have it. Let's get it over with. That's how it works. But if you feel stronger, if you feel more capable, if you don't feel like this hurts when my legs go this way, it hurts when I'm on top of it. Like, if you don't feel so tired and so stressed at all of these motions because you never do them outside of the bedroom, it will get better. This yoga practice can so drastically increase the capability of your sexual skills and prowess and all of that. And I just, I wanted to say all this today because like I hate it when people limit themselves, right? I feel like a big thing about saying I can only do this during sex is saying I can only do this when somebody else does it. And I just don't believe that that's true. I don't believe it for you. If you want to be able to do the things, to make them happen, to be more flexible, more agile, have more stamina, You have to do your physical practice outside of the bedroom. You can't go straight for the pose because even when it came to sex, you didn't go straight for it. You didn't do that. There was a buildup, there was a lead, there was warming up, there was time that went into it, and you deserve that time. You are allowed to take that time for yourself and make it happen. So you are able to do the further poses, the advanced things, to do the cool looking stuff on that you see on Instagram and TikTok, right? Like, it is within your reach if you're going to reach for it. But if you're not, then say that. Give yourself a little break. Don't stress yourself so hard about it. And then also don't stress me about it. Don't come up in my inbox like, yeah, girl, I need to do this, and then never do it. Neither one of us need that. Neither one. But if you want to work on it, if you are willing to put in the work, if you are willing to actually try and be dedicated and all this stuff, it is so useful. You are going to make gains, and you are going to increase your strength, your flexibility, your stamina, all of that stuff. It is not something that you are only capable of during sex or with someone else. Give yourself a little bit of credit and then put in the work so you can give yourself a lot of credit, right? If you deserve it, you can earn it. And that's it. Okay, looking for your comments, your questions, your thoughts on this. Like, then I will, this is going to be posted on my YouTube and on my IGTV. So if you're like, I want to watch it back, if you just came in late, you want to watch it back and like add in your comments and stuff, it'll be up there in just a minute as well. Yay. So I think that's it. I'm just going to drop it right here. Nice short live today. It is Thick Thigh Thursday. I would love to see you in class on Saturday. I teach at 12:30 online, 12:30 Eastern online. So I have, your time zone. If it works, come on to class. Feel free to ask me any questions. And like, I will end with this. Have I taught a client based on the idea that she wanted to be more capable of certain things during sex? Yes, I have. This is why it's important to have real conversations with your teachers. I teach one-on-one on purpose. Feel free, ask your questions, find out, tell me what it is you want to work on. I can help you work on it. Private sessions are available on my website. Sign up. If you're in New York, I do in person. You got to talk to me, email me. Okay. Any other questions? Anything before we go? No? Yes? I don't think so. Alrighty, my loves. That is it. Go have all the orgasms. Love you greatly.